Good afternoon and welcome to News 9. I'm Nolan Pinto. Now, renowned writer and critic U.R. Ananthamurthy has been hospitalized today. He has been admitted to the ICU in Manipal Hospital. U.R. Ananthamurthy was hospitalized after he suffered kidney failure. His condition is said to be extremely critical.
ಜ್ಞಾನಪೀಠ ಅವಾರ್ಡಿ ಪದ್ಮಭೂಷಣ್ ಶ್ರೀ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಅನಂತಮೂರ್ತಿ ಅವರು ಈಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಮಯದಿಂದ ಅನಾರೋಗ್ಯದಿಂದಾಗಿ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ಮಿಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಗೆ ಅಡ್ಮಿಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು 10-15 ದಿವಸ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ನೀವು ತಿಳಿದಿರುವಂತೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ಗಳಿವೆ. ತುಂಬಾ ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಕಿಡ್ನಿ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇದ್ದು ಕೆಲವು ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ಡಯಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವು ಡಯಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ತೊಂದರೆಗಳು ಇವೆ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಲಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಷನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇದೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅವರು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸನೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಯಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ತುಂಬಾ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಚಾನ್ಸಲರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬೇರೆ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಅವರು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಡಯಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಅವರ ಡಯಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಅದೇ ತರ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಸಾಧಾರಣ ಒಂದು 10-15 ದಿವಸದಿಂದ ಅವರು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹುಷಾರಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಆವಾಗ ಜ್ವರ ಬರೋದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸೆಪ್ಸಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಈ ಕಾರಣಗಳಿಂದ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಗೆ ಅಡ್ಮಿಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು. ಸಾಧಾರಣ ಒಂದೆರಡು ದಿವಸದಿಂದ ಅವರ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡಿಟಿಯೋರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈಗ ಕೆಲವು ದಿವಸದಿಂದ ಅವರು ICU ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
In fact, Dr. Sudarshan Ballal over there speaking about renowned critic U.R. Ananthamurthy's condition. He said that he would undergo dialysis in his home. That was what was happening usually. But for the past 15 days, he was suffering from regular fevers as such and hence has been in the ICU. And he says that apart from the kidney failure, the problem that he's suffering from, he's also suffering from infections to the lung. He mentioned something as infection of the sepsis. Basically, as of now, it's not just his kidneys, but also he's suffering from lung and heart problems. As of now, for the past few days, he's been in the ICU on ventilator support. And moving on, a 13-year-old boy was beaten black and blue at a government remand home. He was thrashed mercilessly with a PVC pipe and treated like a slave by asking him to clean toilets. In fact, this is a little boy who's being brought to a hospital. In fact, you can see the injuries that he has suffered, so much so that he just cannot walk. Injuries to both his knees. Well, from all this, I'm joined by my colleague Harish. Harish, how exactly did this boy suffer all these injuries?
When he was roaming around Magdi Road toll gate, and after that he was taken to the city railway station, from where they absconded from the place, after which the policeman in uniform over there handed him over to the Bosco Mane in Chamrajpet, and later on he was sent to this government boys remand home in Laksandra, and that is where the entire ordeal started from Tuesday night. And he was beaten up when he went there, and he has identified a few people. He says Ramesh Manju, who's the head of the boys' home, who's also known as the father over there, Father Ramesh, has allegedly beaten him up several times, and there are multiple reasons that has been attributed. The first one that's given out is that he was not standing in the line when food was being served, and that's when he was hit with a PVC pipe. And later on the next day, that's on Wednesday morning as well, he was asked to clear the drain, and asked to clear the toilet as well. And initially, when he resisted, he was again beaten with the PVC pipe. After which he went back and cleaned the toilet. And it is alleged that he was also asked to kneel down and walk across the corridor. And these are some of the harsh realities that are being exposed on state of affairs in the government boys remand home. And what he goes on to tell is that several other kids too were mute spectators, and later he learned that they too were undergoing or had undergone similar treatment at this particular remand home in Laksandra. Right now, the entire illegality or this entire ordeal came out when the CWC, the Child Welfare Committee, had a mandatory check or a mandatory sitting where he was produced, and that's when the members noticed that this boy was terribly injured and was limping, and that's when he spoke about the entire ordeal at the government boys remand home. And later on he was taken to the Indira Gandhi Child Hospital, and the case too has been registered now. His mother has registered a case at the Wilson Garden police station, and Section 23 of Juvenile Justice Act has been slapped against these people, and other IPC sections like IPC 324 and 334 have been mentioned in this FIR. And what we understand is that the police are on a lookout for this head of this boys' home, who's been identified as Ramesh Manju, or better known as Father Ramesh, in the remand home, Nolan.
Right, and have the accused been arrested now?
Well, as I mentioned, Nolan, the police are on a lookout for Father Manju, and he's been missing. He has not attended his work at the boys' remand home. There are various reports coming in. Some say he's on leave, but the larger information coming in is that he's been absconding. He's not at his house, and he's not at the remand home as well, Nolan.
Right, Harish, thank you very much for all those details. In fact, the boy's torture was exposed when he was brought before the Child Welfare Committee for the mandatory sitting on Wednesday evening. In fact, it is stated that on inquiry by the Child Welfare Committee officials, this boy narrated his tale of abuse before the members, who took down his mother's phone number and contacted her. He was then produced before the District Child Protection Officer and later admitted to the Indira Gandhi Institute of Child Health near Nimhans. Well, Harish, coming back to you, do we know the condition of the other little boys who are staying in that particular home? Because if this boy had to face this torture, what about the rest?
Well, that is something definitely the Child Welfare Committee will look into now after this entire episode has come to light. The District Child Protection Officer too has been informed about this. So definitely somewhere the Child Welfare Committee will have to look into the various kinds of torture that might have been meted out to all these students, because this boy claims that several other students too confessed to him that even they were being given a similar treatment. So somewhere they will have to look into whether this was the state of affairs at this remand home for a long time, Nolan.
You know, what's interesting is that the Child Welfare Committee's role here should be questioned, because isn't it their job to regularly check on these kids?
Well, that's the reason that this entire episode came to light, because there was a mandatory sitting when someone is taken to a remand home. Any juvenile offender or a runaway is taken to the remand home, he has to be produced before the Child Welfare Committee, and that's when this entire episode came to light, Nolan.
Right, Harish, I'm going to place you on hold for a moment. Let's now listen into what the victim had to say about this.
Sir, school go 3 ಜನ ಇದ್ರು ಸರ್. ಆವಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಎಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಸರ್, ಹೊಡೆದು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಜೆಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಸ್ಟೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಓಡೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರು ಸರ್. ನಾನು ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಕೊಂಡು ಬೋಸ್ಕೋ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಅವರು ಹೊಡೆದು ಕಳ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು, ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಥರ ಓಡಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರು. ಆದ್ರೂ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಸರ್, ನಾನು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಆದ್ರೂ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಮಾಂಡ್ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಡೆದ್ರು ಸರ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೈಟ್ ಹೊಡೆದ್ರು ಸರ್, ಮೇಲೆ ಕಟ್ಟಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೊಡೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್, ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪೈಪಲ್ಲಿ. ಅವ್ರ ಹೆಸರು ರಮೇಶ್ ಮಂಜು ಅಂತ ಸರ್. ಅವ್ರು 3 ದಿವಸದಿಂದ ಹೊಡೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್.
ನೀನು ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೆ, ಏನಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ ನೀನು?
ಸರ್ ನಾನು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಅವ್ರು ಎಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಸರ್. ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಸರ್. ಅವ್ರು ಓಡೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರು ಸರ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರಲ್ವಾ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಕೊಂತ ಓಡೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರು ಸರ್.
In fact, you just heard what the boy had to say, how he was beaten by these people at the remand home. In fact, they utilized a PVC pipe to beat him. He also stated that when he refused to clean the toilets on Wednesday, he was again beaten with the pipe, and that too on his back. In fact, let's now listen into what DCP Sandeep Patil had to say about this.
In Bangalore city, we have an incident wherein a 13-year-old boy who was sent to a juvenile home has been assaulted with a plastic rod by the person in charge of that juvenile justice home, that is one Ramesh. This victim, who is a 13-year-old boy, was picked up by Bosco Childline. So this is an agency which looks into childless people or child beggars, wandering children in the city, and they rescue them and take them to juvenile justice home. So similarly, this on the 19th was taken by Bosco Childline and sheltered at the juvenile home at Wilson Garden. Subsequently, next day he was assaulted by Mr. Ramesh, who is in charge of that justice home. So regarding this, one complaint has been lodged in the Wilson Garden police station, and FIR has also been registered, and a very strict action will be initiated against the accused Ramesh, and will further interrogate the matter and check if any other persons also were involved in this case.
DCP Sandeep Patil over there stating that Ramesh and the 2 others have been booked under the Juvenile Justice Act, Section 23. Now, this section calls for punishment for cruelty to a juvenile or a child. Now, it says that whoever having the actual charge of or control over a juvenile or child assaults, abandons, exposes or willfully neglects the juvenile or causes or procures him to be assaulted, abandoned, exposed or neglected in a manner likely to cause such juvenile or child unnecessary mental or physical suffering shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months or both. In fact, they've also been booked under IPC Section 324 for voluntarily causing hurt by dangerous weapons or means. Well, another shocking case, a mentally challenged girl was raped in the city. The incident came to light when she was being treated at the KCR General Hospital. Now, the girl is a student of Vishwa Jyoti School for Mentally Challenged Children. She was sent home to her parents after she had fallen sick. Now, the case has been transferred to the Raibagh police station by the Malleshwaram police.